Hello class, welcome to the LODLC lecture series on ACT315, the Nigerian economy. This is study session 3 and our topic is the agricultural activities in Nigeria. Please enjoy yourself. Let's get going. Let's keep enjoying the class. Let's have it done together. By the end of this study session, you should be able to identify the organization of agricultural activities. You should be able to outline the factors responsible for the poor performance of the Nigerian agriculture sector. You should lastly be able to highlight the different strategies being employed to revamp the Nigerian agricultural sector. The Nigerian agriculture system. Nigerian agriculture today is traditional in nature, and it is because it is highly dependent on low technological inputs. To understand the backwardness of the Nigerian agricultural sector, you have to look at it from the angle of resource utilization. There are different patterns of resource utilization. We have the land surplus economy, which refers to the low man-land ratio. Specific example of such areas where we have this issue is in Borno State. We also have it in Taraba, Bauchi states, and some other states. The farming techniques applicable in these areas include shifting cultivation and bush fallowing. These practices are appropriate because they reflect sound economic reasoning as land is in abundance. We also have labor surplus economy, which refers to areas of high man-land ratio. Such areas include places such as Onitsha, Owerri, and other southern parts of Nigeria. We also have the likes of Cross River states. Population density in these areas is about 1,000 persons per square kilometer. Kano also exhibits such characteristics. Farming techniques in this area is labor intensive. In other words, an attempt to increase yield means employing more labor. Lastly, we have the mixed variable proportion economy, which refers to the areas where both land and labor are variably proportional. For example, in Benue State, also in Anambra State. In this category, to increase production, you will require increment in both land and labor simultaneously. Factors responsible for the poor performance of agricultural sector in Nigeria. One of these is lack of appropriate technology. 2, inadequate supply of agricultural inputs. We also have inadequate extension services. We have the issue of poor marketing facilities. We should not forget the issue of disease, pests, and even human invasions. We also have shortage of labor. When we talk about lack of appropriate technology, what do we mean here? We're talking about local primitive technology, e.g., hoes and cutlasses. We do not support agricultural production to a great extent. For the past years, the growth rate of the agricultural sector has been deteriorating. This problem could be solved using invention of new tools. The alternative is for importation of these tools. Inadequate supply of agricultural inputs. Some reasons could be advanced for the inadequate supply of inputs. Poor distribution network, which prevent distribution of goods, manifest in poor roads infrastructure. A biased distribution policy, in which case the big farmer is favored. However, government is trying to address this situation through agricultural development projects and other agricultural programs. On the case of inadequate extension services being a factor responsible for the poor performance of the Nigerian agricultural sector, we can say that these are designed to teach farmers. When we say extension services, it is designed to teach farmers how to manage inputs. Services of extension workers in Nigeria is presently inadequate because of low extension ratio between the farmer and the extension workers. The ratio of agents to farmer is as today about 1:20, one extension worker to about 20 farmers. The extension agents, because they are poorly trained and motivated, in consequence, that there is lack of enough knowledge by the farmers to improve output. This problem of extension services is being addressed through establishment of agricultural institutions throughout the country. Poor marketing facilities. Staple food crops have always been marketed by the traditional method of marketing and distribution. The characteristic feature of which is the need for a large number of middlemen between the producer and the consumer. This method of marketing is of course beset with problems, and there is a dearth of storage and processing facility. Pricing is often done by angling. Grades and measures are not uniform. Disease, pests, and evasion. The effect of all this is a reduction in output when disease and even pest has consumed a great portion of the agricultural produce. Measures to address this problem include forestation programs and introduction of pesticides, labor shortages. The rural-urban migration experienced in the country today has greatly affected the agricultural activity in the rural areas. Hence, farmers in the rural areas have tended to pay highly for hired labor. Strategies to revamp the agricultural sector in Nigeria. Government direct involvement. There is a direct involvement by government, and even we should say this way, the government should be much more involved directly in the production of agricultural products. This is to be done through the establishment of food production companies, through equity holding in purely commercial joint ventures with the private sector, and by commodity boards, grain production companies, and state agricultural development corporation go into partnership with foreign investors. Fiscal incentive is another way to revamp the Nigerian agricultural sector. Government should give fiscal incentives to companies wanting to go into large-scale agricultural production. Such incentive would include income tax relief for pioneer enterprises, duty-free importation to farm machinery and tools, and provision for carrying forward losses. Agricultural products and processing have been translated from Schedule 2 of the Nigerian Enterprises Promotion Act, NEPA, to Schedule 3. This effect is that foreigners can now own up to 60% of the capital of any of the companies engaged in agricultural activities. We also have the issue of credit facilities. Efforts should be geared towards expanding credit facilities, extending it to farmers. Leveraging, gearing should be applied. Short and medium capital should be made available to farmers through agricultural and cooperative banking. There should also be agricultural credit scheme. Furthermore, the state agricultural corporations should be strengthened to enable them to perform their functions more effectively. We also have the issue of agro-allied industries. The setting up of agro-allied industries would intensify agricultural processing. Farmers would obtain higher and steady prices for their products, since middlemen would be eliminated from the marketing process. There should be price incentives. Government should give some price incentives by way of guaranteeing minimum prices to the producers. There should be the diversifying of foreign exchange earnings. And lastly, there should be increased production of food. Yes, we have learned greatly today and on this third study session, the Nigerian agricultural system. Thank you for being part of the class, and I hope to see you some other time. But for now, it's bye-bye.